What's going on, traders? It's your boy Matt, back at it again with another trading recap video. You guys already know how this goes. I am up another $1,310 on the day. Now, today's trading session was a lot more difficult for me because early in the day I made a couple of mistakes, which I'll be sharing with you guys in a minute. And because of that, I got into really sticky trades, and it was mentally exhausting to kind of dig myself out of those losses. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. If you have not subscribed to the channel, make sure you do that and give it a thumbs up. I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Now enjoy the actual video. All right, traders, let's just talk about some of the stocks that I traded today. As you guys can see right here, I am up $1,310 on a day. But today was one of those days where, I was mentally exhausted. And the reason for that was early in the day, I made a lot of mistakes that led me to get into really bad trades. And I kind of got frustrated into that. And also, those trades were completely mentally draining. I mean, when you're on a bad trade, you're trying to focus, you're trying to have a read on the chart to get out of that jam you get yourself into, and that kind of drains you. Anyway, let's just get right into some of the trades that I took. As you guys can see, Apple here. I shorted here thinking that was the top. It was holding up. I got out, shorted here into covered there. So nothing big here. As you guys can see, lost 3 times and made the money back twice. Now the next one, let's talk about ARLO. ARLO, same thing. It went parabolic, got into a hold, and it tried to push into that. I shorted that, and I covered right into that. But mainly, I was using the level 2 to gauge the weakness. But I had to get out quick onto this because what I expect these things to do is to completely fall apart, right? I want these things to roll over. I want these things to roll over and completely fall apart, not get supported and get bid up. So that's the main reason why I got out. I tried right here for the backside, but I made a little bit of money on it. So that was it. The other trade that I kept going in and out was BB. So I really need to work on going my in and outs. I need to get in there, stay in the trade, have a profit target, and take it rather than going in and out kind of scalper mode. So BB, I tried here a little bit pre-market to short it, thinking, it could roll over from here, but it didn't. It pushed, so I cut it for a loss. I got back in here again, and I cut it. So, but all of this were small share size, right? One of the mistakes that I made with this is out of the gate, market open, I shorted here into that weakness. It dipped. I didn't take the profit because I was thinking, at least I was expecting to this area here because of that support level. But when it came back up again, I cut it right there and right there at the top. Usually, if you're shorting out of something like this, your risk level will be the break of the high. You want it to break, and if it bases then it looks like it's going to go higher is when you should cut it. Because if your risk level is there, as it did right here, as you guys can see, it came up, it literally did exactly what I expected it to do, which is to come up here, touch the risk level, and wash out. But as it touched the risk level, I got out. I shouldn't have gotten out. So the way risk level works is, so let's say you set a risk level at $3, right? The stock can do 3 things. The first thing it could do is it could come up all the way to near the $3 area, but it never really touched $3. It could go, to 270 or 250 and then wash out, right? Or it could touch $3 and wash out. Or it could break above $3, it could go to 310 and then fall apart and wash out. Still, that $3 level that you send as a risk is valid because the stock would never, respect it all the time to the tick. If you say $3, it could never go up to $3 and then return, right? So in this case, the ideal risk level should have been let it break, right? That's fine if it breaks it. But that's when you start focusing on once it breaks it, doesn't look like it's holding on and it wants to go higher. That's when you cut it as a short seller, right? Just because it broke it, you don't cut it. Or just because it's getting close to your risk level, you don't cut it. That's the mistake I made. Just because it was getting close to my risk level, which was high of the day, I cut it right there. But when it rejected, I quickly got back in again and made the money back in more. So that's how you really have to think about your risk levels because they never really to the tick, right? They don't work like that. And then I tried it here as well, and hindsight is 2020. I should have held. Would have been a nice short. Now the other one is CAAS. Now this one here, was a good trade. You guys know this was a major trade yesterday after market. It gapped up and squeezed everybody out, and this is my go-to long play. So something goes parabolic, it pulls back down. As you guys can see, major volume market open yesterday in the morning, and then throughout the day, very low volume, right? Especially in this area, very low volume. So in a natural price action, when there's low volume, when there's no volume, you would expect the stock to start going down naturally because this thing has already come up 100, 200% on the day, right? So you'd naturally expect it when there's no buyers, when there's no volume, you'd naturally expect this thing to, roll over and wash out, right? So you would naturally expect this thing to kind of roll over and wash out, right? But when it doesn't do that and it holds all day, what it's doing is short sellers thinking, okay, there's still a lot of money to be made on this, so they start shorting into this, right? They would be shorting all of this all day. As you guys can see for this 3, 4, 5 hours, they were shorting, but the stock doesn't go down. And near the end of the day, around 2 o'clock, a random volume comes in, it spikes it up in just a couple of moves, and it bags all the shorts. So everybody who shorted in here is now a bag holder once this is ripped. Now short sellers start to outbid each other to get out of the trade, and they drive this thing higher. So knowing that, what did I do? I knew there was a lot of short sellers into this, so this would have been a beautiful dip buy because still short sellers from yesterday, when this thing comes up, they would buy it up. So this thing went, from 9 all the way to $14. Would have been a great buy, right? So I tried a little bit pre-market here and there. That was all right, but the decent trade came market open, where I shorted 1,000 shares, so it went higher, and I saw this stuff in action here. Try to go higher. I shorted 1,000 shares into that, and as it's dropping, I peeled off the profit into that, and that was a good trade. I think that one was right here. I made $700 out of this one trade, right? And because I was actually right on the day coming into the market, I was down $400 or something like that. This particular trade, put me green on the day, which was pretty good. And then after that, I got trapped a little bit into that. I attempted to reshort there again and here again, but I was up. I was losing 200 and making 150. And then one of the trades that and then, I got into the next trade. The next trade was TATA. Now, this one here was really bad. I mean, I did a good job here. I longed it. So there was no locates to short this thing. I wanted to short it here at 60-50 area right there, but there was no locate. So what I did was I waited for a VWAP dip. I bought that dip and I sold it right there, I think for a $260 gain. But what happened into this was, so what ended up happening was I got into a trade. I was trying to cancel my order, but trade 0 was lagging. It got me in the trade, and I got ripped on my face, and I lost $400 on that on this trade right here. So I lost $400 on that particular trade. But it is what it is. The next trades were end of the day, nothing major really. EARS was another one. What happened with this thing was it was going up all day. People lost a lot of money on this. It kept going up and up and up. As you guys can see right here, one of the guys that I follow, Chris, he lost $160,000 on this particular trade. So he was shorting all of this area. As you guys can see, he lost $160,000 on this particular trade. So he was shorting this thing, and it kept going up on it. So for me, I stayed patient. I didn't touch it. I waited, and as you guys can see, right at the backside, the start of the backside is when I had my first short. Shorted there, covered all of this, shorted there again, and covered. I was completely out by then. And I didn't go a lot of size on it. So I made about 150, $70, $74. So kept going in and out in that one as well. The next one I traded was EYES. This one here, I waited for a parabolic move. All right, I waited for a parabolic move. So into this shorted, added into that. I took profit into there, shorted, and then took profit into that. So it was an okay trade. Nothing major. I made 150, and then another 150. So I made about $300, $400 out of that particular trade. The last one that I traded for the day was SRAC. With this one, what happened was it went parabolic. I waited for the backside, shorted into that, covered, shorted into that, covered, shorted, covered into that, and I made maybe about $300 out of this particular trade. And these were all the trades that I took for the day. I know I took a lot of trades because I was down and I was trying to scalp my way out of all these trades. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. If you have not subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing to the channel. And there will be a link down below for a free chat that I have on Discord. I'm pretty sure you would enjoy it. Pop into the room. We'll talk a lot about trading ideas, what we're trading, what levels we're looking at, and we also share a lot of educational materials amongst each other. So if you want to pop in and say hello, that would be great. Now enjoy the actual live video. Thanks, guys. Alright guys, welcome to the live trading part of my videos. Let's just get right into it. As you guys can see, market is about to open and I'm already down about $400 for the day. So I'm not having a great day. I already got myself into a bit of jam. What happened was, I was telling everybody in the room, take it easy today. There's a lot of runners, so let everybody blow out first before you get into a position. But while I was saying that, I was hitting the keyboard. So that was a mistake on my part, which put me into a really shitty start for the day. So if I didn't have that $400 negative, it would have been a clean start. Would have done better on the day. So, but as you guys can see, I'm short 500 shares of BB, and I'm taking in a little bit. I'm trying to take a little bit of profit here. Because I am down, and when I'm down, usually I'm not patient. I'll start taking money that's on the table to kind of start chipping away that loss. So as you guys can see, I didn't take that washout, so I'm still holding, trying to see what this is going to do. So I just took half into that because it was popping, but that half was for a small loss. So I completely got out of it. I am down $432. But what I should have done here was should have waited for high of the day. You see? Because my risk was high of the day. I should have waited for high of the day break, and see how it tests the high of the day break. But I quickly got out. The reason why I'm not trading the way I'm supposed to trade is because I already had, shitty start. I was already down, $400. But I saw the rejection high of the day. I got back in to get 500 shares. So that's why, you gotta respect the rules. And I was telling everybody in the room, take it easy, slow down, while I was, hammering everything and anything in my trade. So as you guys can see, I got in 1,000 shares CAAS at 13 average. Right now it's dropping at 12.75, so I'm in 1,000 shares. I'm up $400 on it, so I'm taking a little bit of profit, taking it again here. Now it's at $11 from 13. It's at 11.18. I'm completely out of it. I made $700 on that particular trade, and that put me green on the day. So remember, I was down $400. Right now, I'm up almost $240. But I'm still holding, 500 shares of BB right here. But I'm not trusting it. I'm trying to stick to the trade, which is the risk is high of the day. Because that's how you gotta play. You have to have a risk level, set a risk level, and you have to play up for that. But what am I doing right here? I'm taking it off. I'm taking it for a loss. Right now I was up 200 something. Now I'm up 180 only. So I got back in again. CASS, which was a bad thing. Now I'm hitting a dead horse right now because that thing dropped from 13 to $11. Right, and I covered it at 1170, 1180 area. And as you guys can see, BB also rejected, so I got back in again. So you see, I got back in 3 times, where the first trade was okay if I just held because it was respecting my risk. Right, but I took unnecessarily losses, maybe about $200 or $300 losses into that. So, I'm taking a bit of loss on CAAG as well. The main reason for that is because, I'm hitting a dead horse. I'm shorting the lows. Never short the lows, right? I shorted the 13, covered at 11, was great. Now I'm shorting the 11, right? Rather than doing that, what I should have done is just hold the one that I shorted from 13, right? That would have been the ideal thing to do. Now, BB, I'm in 1,000 shares. I'm taking a profit right here a little bit. So I'm backing up. I'm back up 200 bucks. But I should have just respect because it came back to my average and it's actually going lower. I should have just held the first one. Those losses that I ate up were for nothing because it was doing exactly how it's supposed to do. In fact, it was giving me adding positions as it was going higher. As long as it's below your risk level, you can add to it. All right, so I'm holding, I'm only holding 250 shares. Um, I'm up $150, so I'm pretty frustrated on the day right now. Usually yesterday I was up $1,000 by this point. So I was looking at this thing. It had a major pullback, so I'm trying to buy it here for a VWAP bounce because it dropped from $61 to this 57 area. So I got back in 300 shares at 57.23. And I'm looking to cover that 58.40, 58 area if it gives me. So I'm looking for a quick pop to kind of take a bit of profit and get out of the trade. So I'm just staying patient here, but if it pops, I won't be, sitting on my hand. I have to be reactive. So this kind of things are reactive trades. If you don't quickly react, you would end up losing money on. So it popped, as you guys can see. I took it. I am up $432 on a day. Anyway, I stopped like this and I made it to 1,300 bucks on a day. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. If you have not subscribed to the channel, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel and enjoy your day. Thanks, guys.